Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I know some people are probably on their way to Thanksgiving right now, or
Yeah.
at least on their way to like their family's house for Thanksgiving, which is, yeah.
Yep, I will be.
It'll
When this
be,
comes out, I'll be traveling long and far.
yep. Yeah,
Ugh.
I have to travel 10 minutes down the road, so I'm not going anywhere.
Wowzers, I have to drive like 8 hours.
Yeah, well,
It's fine. It's fine. At
it's
least,
okay.
we're going to get fed. That's one thing we're going
Yeah,
to do.
that's true.
Listen,
and you can listen to this
I'll-
on the way.
Yeah, exactly. And I plan on it. I do. I really do. What was I just gonna say? Oh, okay. Kind of sad news for you guys, anyway. We're not gonna have an episode next week. Sometimes your girl just needs a break. No, truly, we're gonna be out of town, so sorry, no episode next week. But
Yeah.
the next week will be back up and running as per usual. So just go back and listen to an old one because I've personally forgotten stories, so I know you guys have.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I guess we'll skip 1 week and then that'll bring us to December, right?
Oh my God, we're gonna be in December. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That
and
is
then
correct. Christmas.
yeah, maybe we'll try to find some Christmassy stories or like holiday stories for you guys.
Definitely. That could be fun. Could be very interesting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to look into that. Oh, also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you would. Por favor. But I don't really have anything else, do you?
Nope. Short little intro today, but I do have my story to get into.
Let's do it.
So, this week I have a story that me and you are probably really familiar with.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not familiar with like the spookiness of it, but I'm gonna be talking about the Reynolda House.
Ah, no way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, did you just go to the Reynolda House?
I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was just there.
I love that. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I'll get into the details of the Reynolda House and what it is because people are out there like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is it's like a museum house in Winston-Salem, which is, where I live, where Taylor's from.
It's more like a museum house, aka mansion.
Yes.
It's humongous.
It's really big. And it's actually a whole estate. So it's like acres of land with like there's little shops in one part of the area because it's called Reynolda Village with like some shops.
They have the best food in there.
Yes, there's like a crepe store, a crepe restaurant.
Yes.
And then a little donut and coffee restaurant, Dojo's. Oh my gosh, so good.
So good.
And they have like the gardens. There's a whole area of this like amazing garden.
Yeah, that's where I took a bunch of like my senior pictures, like, in high school and stuff. It's like probably the most pop-in place in the city. I'm not gonna lie. It's like the only place I like to go.
Yes,
There.
no, I love it there. Even like when I moved here and found out about it, like I wanted to go all the time.
Literally.
So it's
I've
great
actually
there.
watched a movie like out on the grass right in front of Reynolda House, like on a blow up screen
Well, that's
a
fun.
couple summers ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just there with actually Garrett's mom took us it was like a group of us and it was like an event called On the House and it was like after hours from like 3 to 7 or something.
Oh.
You could go for free.
Oh, that's cool.
So actually and it's also free with your student ID. But like if you don't have that it does cost a little bit, but I mean I feel like they try to get people in for free, like as much as they can.
Definitely.
So yeah, but anyways, we went there and we just looked through the house and everything, and I hadn't been there in a while. Like, I've been there like a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I went to some of the rooms and stuff that I hadn't even seen before because I just missed them because the house is so big.
Yeah, no, for sure.
and, um, and there's also like a pool and
Mm-hmm.
like squash courts, like
Mm-hmm.
tennis but squash. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a
And
bowling
like,
alley.
yes, a little bowling alley.
There's like a diner
Mm-hmm.
situation going on.
Yeah, like a little bar.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's crazy. And also the pool down there. Garrett actually said that he swam in that pool before.
What?
Yeah, so it's like it's still like in operation. See, that's another thing about this. It's like they still use a lot of it, which is really
Wait,
cool.
Garrett, swim in the pool. I'm trying to swim in the pool.
Yeah, because he went for a camp when he was a kid.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Could
I
have
don't know if
swam with the
adults can,
ghosts.
but like
Well, that's
maybe
lame.
we can find a class or something.
True.
Okay, so a little bit more background. We'll go into that for people who have no idea what I'm talking about and describing. So the Reynolda House is the house of R.J. Reynolds, who, if you don't know, was really big in the tobacco world. And it's a huge tobacco company still today. So they actually make a lot of popular cigarette brands like Newport's, Camel, Pall Mall. So just to name a few, there's tons. And also they make the Views vape.
Oh.
So they're like really big still.
Oh no, they're very big. Also,
Like,
in case anybody's wondering, I'm from a city like right outside of Winston called Tobaccoville.
yes.
Yes, that's the real name of it, Tobaccoville. And just in case you're also curious, some mornings, like, like if you live near, like, whatever, like a flower field, you'll smell flowers. Some mornings when the wind would blow certain ways, I would wake up and you would smell tobacco in the air. Isn't that crazy?
But honestly, I didn't expect tobacco to smell that good.
Me neither. It
Like,
kind of
it's,
smells good. I kind of actually hate it, but a lot of
oh,
people like it.
see, I kind of like it. It smells sort of like honey almost.
It
I
is
don't know.
definitely, it definitely has like a little sweet smell.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that because when I tell people that, they're like, what? And
Yeah,
like, yeah,
like,
it's weird.
yeah. Mm-hmm. So the company R.J. Reynolds was established in 1875, so a long time ago, and they're still thriving, which is,
Like, I would honestly say thriving more than ever right now.
yeah, like honestly, tobacco is never going away, which
No.
for, yeah.
Also, we're against big tobacco. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
Well, me
for the
personally.
point of this story, I'm gonna just
Of
say the
course.
facts and not really comment on that. So anyways, the tobacco industry was, I guess, taking off in the U.S. around that time. Which also, I found out that tobacco is a plant native to America.
Yeah,
Did you know
I
that?
think I did know that actually.
And like in other countries, like they just had to get it imported,
That's cool.
which is like, it's
Cool, but also not cool.
See, it's just crazy to me because I think of like, I don't know, like the French smoke cigarettes. Like that's a stereotype, but it's like an American plant, which is
True.
crazy.
I feel like I just grew up knowing that knowledge just because of where I was.
Yeah, yeah. So anyways, the company was established and, they got super rich off of it. And I think they might have already been rich. So anyways, the Reynoldas, or the Reynolds, they built the Reynolda House and the Reynolda Estate. So it is a country estate to mimic like the country houses of Britain. There is like a little village, like I said before, which is like the shops right now. But back in the day, it was like part of their estate that they lived on. And these were just like little houses that they had on their property. And then they had the main house, which is the big mansion that, Taylor was talking about. The formal gardens, and they had a farm. and it was like over 1,000 acres.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, very big. And now, as we were talking about before, it is like the main house, which is a museum, with like the little village, which has been turned into some stores, and the gardens. And the gardens are like free to walk through. And it is right next to Wake Forest University, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And there is also like an exhibit, like an art exhibit at all times in the house as well. And right now it's called Chrome Dreams and Infinite Reflections, American Photorealism.
Ooh.
And I got to see it when I was there, and it's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I like looking at the art there.
Mm-hmm. One time I went and there was a Van Gogh exhibit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like with real Van Goghs?
Like two of them were real, which was crazy enough for me. And the rest were just like, copies or whatever. But I did get to, in fact, see a Van Gogh in real life. So that was crazy.
Huh. Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and throughout the house, actually, the paintings on the walls are like famous. I mean, like they're like really nice pieces too.
No, they definitely are.
And because they have like little plaques next to them all. Like I feel like normally in like houses that are museum things, they don't have art incorporated as much, you know. But this is like an art museum and a historic home.
It is. It really is. It's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry the ghostly stuff doesn't get until later, but I promise it'll get here. I'm
sure that it will.
I'm telling you more about the house still. So
I love good historical houses.
Yes,
one of my favorite
too.
things.
Me too. That's why I have so much written here about it. So the house was completed in 1917, and it is a 34,000 square foot home. Huge.
That is
just like I said.
Like I've been there so many times, but just hearing that number is like, how the heck do they keep it clean?
That's what. Yeah, I know. They have a lot of people working.
They do.
There are 64 rooms, and as I said before, the basement it has a pool, a bowling alley, which is only like a 1-lane bowling alley, but still.
Yeah, but literally still, it's a bowling alley in the house.
Yeah. A squash court and a bar area, and then there's also like a floor that can be used for roller skating because it's like really smooth.
Oh yeah.
And there's like you can see there's like a spot to hang your roller skates, so it was intended for that.
Love that.
And honestly, like it's so crazy. Like I would love to live here.
Oh, I would give anything to live there. It's such a cool house. I just walk
through it. I'm like, I want to live here so bad. And the gardens too.
Oh, just the whole estate. Imagine that literally being your property. Like that is so cool.
Exactly. I know. Yeah, I've like sat in the gardens before and just imagined that I lived there. And I'm like, this is my house. But then like there's other random people walking through. And I'm like, it kind of ruined my fantasy. But so I said the house was completed in 1917, but Mr. R.J. Reynolds actually died shortly after in 1918.
That is a big old tragedy.
Yeah, so he didn't get to live in the house very long. He passed away in the house in his study.
Ew.
Which is like actually the first room you see when you walk in.
Yeah, too. It is. I took that tour not that long ago, so I can picture everything you're saying.
Yep.
Ew.
Yeah. But surprisingly, I didn't see anything that said they saw R.J. Reynolds' ghost here.
Interesting. I wonder where he could be haunting instead.
Yeah. Or maybe it's more rare to see him. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Reynolds, Miss Catherine Reynolds, she ran the estate until her death in 1924. And the estate remained in the family until their daughter, Mary Reynolds Babcock, she began to present portions of the property to Wake Forest University.
Ooh.
And she died in 1953. But before her death, like a year or two before, she started giving parts of the property to them. And Wake Forest University was actually located, I think, in Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Yeah, it was originally.
Yeah, and she actually helped with their relocation by gifting the land to them.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Because she was known as like a philanthropist. And she was actually really into the arts too, so I think that's a big reason why the house is an art museum now too.
That's really cool.
Because of Mary.
Shout out Mary.
Yeah. So yeah, now the whole property is actually owned by Wake Forest University. But so honestly, that's really cool too. Like if you went to that school, it's just like the Reynolda House is part of your campus.
Yeah, no, that's so cool.
And also, part of the estate was sold to Bowman Gray in 1925. So like before Wake Forest was there, it was also sold to Bowman Gray. But that they built the Grayland Estate on there, and that's still on the property as well.
Yeah, have you been there?
I have not, but
Dude,
I've
there's
like
a castle.
seen it.
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean it's right across the street.
Yeah,
from
it is. Yeah.
So like I know where it is, but I haven't actually gone.
Yeah, no, Dina, she used to have like the membership to go there, and so we went there and like because there's a giant swimming pool, but there's literally like a castle.
Oh my god!
It looks like straight out. It looks straight out of like England. Castle. It's so cool. It's beautiful.
Huh. Well, now I want to go. I didn't know there was a pool there.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, it's right across the street from like the Reynolda House, and this was eventually gifted to Wake Forest as well. And it was an academic psychiatric hospital facility until 1959.
No way.
Yes.
Grayland?
It was. Yes.
What?
Yeah, it was.
I'm shook.
And honestly, like that seems like there could be some ghost stories there too. I don't know.
Wow, I'm a little bit shook right now. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I might need to look further into that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Another day. But so there was a fire in 1980 at the Grayland Estate, and the day after the fire, it was announced that it would be restored back to its original 1932 condition, and used as a conference hall. And it is currently still a conference center, and the bedrooms were restored so people can like stay in them. So it's a hotel, but super fancy.
Oh, it is very, 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 very fancy. I cannot even put it into words. Like the second I entered, I said, I do not belong here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yes, you can stay at the Grayland Estate. But that's the closest you can get to staying at Reynolda. You can't stay in the Reynolda House, unfortunately. But that would be cool.
I feel like we could maybe make it work.
Yeah.
Pull some strings.
Just try to
hide. Okay.
Yeah, hide.
No, guys, this is a conversation for off the air.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Sorry,
I'm kidding.
Right. So, like I said before, it's sort of like an art museum, and a private organization was created to open the main house as, the house walk-through museum. And part of the house, like I think there's one big room, it's not really in the basement. It's like it's kind of separate from the house. That is an art exhibit, a collection of American art. And it opened as an institution dedicated to the arts and education in 1965, and as an art museum in 1967. So before that, I guess it was just not open to the public, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it honestly hasn't been open for that long.
No, it really hasn't.
Um, so yeah, and the gardens have been restored and cared for, and are cared for by the university as well. So, since it has been open to the public in the 60s, people have wondered, are there any ghosts here?
Mm-hmm.
Because, with anything that's like old and has a lot of, just like stuff attached to it, they're like, oh, well, are any spirits still here attached to the house?
Mm-hmm.
So some people do report that they see a lady in white on the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
There is reports of a person, somebody who is like returned from the dead on horseback, which I don't know how they know it's somebody who's returned from the dead.
Maybe they look like decomposed.
Maybe. I don't know. Or they just get that vibe,
Yeah, it's the dead vibe, yeah.
Yeah. So that's separate from the lady in white. And there's also, I think this one might be different from the lady in white or the same thing. Somebody enveloped in a strange mist.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it could be the lady in white, just like in mist,
Mm-hmm.
which is like really creepy to think about. Can you imagine, like, I'm just picturing, because I know this place, so I'm picturing the grounds of the Reynolda estate, just
100%.
with a lady coming out of the darkness with mist following her.
100%. Okay, actually, I do have a little side story here because when I went there, obviously, I'm going to be the one to ask the questions to these tour people. Like, does anything happen here? Is it haunted? And one of the girls who was like working the front desk said that something scary only happened to her one time where she thought like everybody, like she thought all the visitors were like already out for the day. So like nobody else was in there other than like her and two other workers.
Right.
And there's this kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like a hallway, like sunroom type deal, kind of long corridor in the house.
Yes.
And
yes.
So she was just like doing her rounds or whatever, and she saw a lady in a dress walking, and she was like, "Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry, we're closed." And like the lady turned the corner, and then the girl turned the corner behind her, and she was gone. So,
oh my God.
And they like ended up checking the whole house, and she was gone. So, I don't know if that was a lady in white, but I was like, "Ooh, that is spooky magooky."
Oh my gosh, that is. Oh
I know.
Huh. Well, some people say that the lady in white is Catherine Reynolds.
Oh, okay, Catherine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it could be her. Just looking after her house,
Mm-hmm.
And there's another occurrence in the house. So this guy called Michael Renegar, he did an investigation at the Reynolda House, and he had an EVP there. And he asked, is that you causing that heavy feeling in the air?
Ew.
And a woman's voice replied, what is that supposed to mean?
I mean, first of all, literally, what is that supposed to mean? So I agree with her, but creepy.
I mean, I can kind of get that like a ghost would cause like a heavy feeling in the air. I don't know.
No, I know.
Like the vibe.
It makes sense, but ooh, spooky.
Yeah, just like to flat out ask that to the ghost.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So people thought at first that it would be late Libby Holman, who was the second wife of Zachary Smith Reynolds. But later they identified the voice as Catherine Reynolds.
Okay, and so what made them make that decision?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Okay, interesting.
But they just were like, no, it was definitely Catherine. So, I mean, that's crazy. And the reason they thought it could be the second wife of Zachary Reynolds, um, is it's kind of a crazy story. I don't know if you know, you probably know this whole story, but um, let me go through it. So Zachary, the son of R.J. Reynolds and Catherine Reynolds, he was mysteriously shot in the house. And it was during a birthday party for a friend in 1932. Did you know this?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard the story.
Yeah. So he was supposedly shot on the second floor sleeping porch, which there's multiple sleeping porches,
Mm-hmm.
which also I'm like, what even is a sleeping porch? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's so weird.
But on one of them, he was shot. So for this, Libby actually faced charges. So as I said, this was his second wife. She faced charges along with Zachary's personal assistant and best friend, Ab Walker.
Ooh.
So the reason they were charged at first was that there was like a rumor going around basically that Ab and Libby, they were secretly together and they wanted Zachary out of the way.
Ooh, scandalous.
But later the charges were dropped and they both were freed.
Mm.
So they weren't charged with anything really.
Hmm.
Which is mysterious. I don't know.
That's very mysterious.
And so sorry, losing my spot again.
No, you're good.
So yeah, that's what they thought it could be her, because they're like, well, maybe she's still sticking around, because of the crime she's committed, even though it wasn't proven that she did it, but still. Also, another incident with these same ghosts, a policeman actually came to the house because an alarm was going off at the house.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of reminds me of when we were at Kerner's Folly and they were talking about the alarm.
Yeah.
So the policeman came to investigate and he heard sounds of a party going on in the basement.
Oh.
And he even heard a bowling ball striking pins. So he's like, who is down here having a party? And when he went down there, nobody was there.
That is so spooky. That just actually gave me the chills.
And like nothing was really out of place either. Like the pins were still up. And
Ew. I hate it.
so is the party still going on from 1932?
Dude, the party is still going on and I'm trying to join it.
Yeah. So yeah, Zachary and his mom, Catherine, they both haunt the estate.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the Reynolda House.
So interestingly enough, you didn't mention the creepy dolls that they have in the Reynolda House, which is in fact why I knew you were there, because Garrett was sending me Snapchats of like really creepy dolls.
Did he really?
And he was like, Taylor, you will never believe I just saw this one move. And I was like, I don't believe you. That's what I said. And he said it was literally whipping and nay-naying. I saw it with my own eyes.
That's funny. I didn't know.
So yeah, I just assumed that you were there. That's why I knew.
Wow.
But yeah, no, like just on another note, the children's floor is so creepy. I don't know if you went and saw that.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. I'm sorry. It's like, first of all, really small. Like they have like just anything to do with children is just so creepy to me. And all their little creepy dolls.
It's really just like an attic.
Truly.
Yeah. And is it like the organ?
It's the organ.
Something?
It's the organ.
There's an organ in the house.
Like
and
built into the walls.
Yes. And it goes all the way up to the third floor, which was what we were just talking about, the children's floor, I guess. And they were playing it while we were up there.
Ew. So disgusting.
It was kind of cool.
No, it's cool. Yeah. I just imagine like nobody playing it. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. I mean, we couldn't see who was playing it, so I mean, I don't know.
Could have been a ghost.
Could
Interesting.
have.
That's scary. I love that story just because that house is so cool. If you guys ever get a chance to go, it's in Winston-Salem. It's so cool.
Yes.
It's like
awesome.
the one cool thing about Winston-Salem.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
No, it really is. It's very cool. And I'm honestly really jealous that Garrett got to swim in that pool because I wanted to swim in that pool so bad that I was literally like, should I jump in when I went the last time? And there was like a lady that worked there and I didn't know that she did in the room. And she was like, ma'am, please don't do that. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, I guess I won't.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. When I was in there, I was just in like one of the big living rooms and I was leaning on a bookshelf or something and a lady came over to me and said,
Yo,
ma'am, do not touch that.
They do not
I didn't
play.
even realize I was touching it.
Yeah, no, they did not play with that because like
They
we
don't.
were like trying to take a picture on this couch and we thought it didn't have anything around it, and they were like, ladies, you cannot sit on this, and we were like, okay, can we even breathe in here?
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Yeah.
No,
They're trying to preserve it for the
they're
ghosts.
preserving it. They're preserving it.
Yeah, because they know Zachary's still there, so he needs
Yeah,
to.
and Catherine.
Catherine, I think, is just outside.
Oh, well, very interesting.
Yeah, she's protecting the outside, and then Zach's inside partying.
Me. Zach's
So,
me.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, that was a very good story. Love that one so much.
Thanks.
Mine, Lord, let's just get into it. How about we? Because
Okay.
there's just no setup that can be set up for this one.
All right,
So,
let's do it.
This week for you, I have The Legend of Dead Children's Playground.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That does not sound fun.
So that is, just so you know, not the name that I made up for it. I just, wanted to put that out there. That is the name of it.
Right.
Yeah, let's just get on into it. I'm going to set the scene for you. We are in Huntsville, Alabama this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
So like at first glance, this like Dead Children's Playground, it's like a park, okay? It's just like a nice little cute park. There's a little jungle gym, a little play set or whatever, little normal park. So it looks like any other park, but it actually has a very, very dark history, okay? So for one, the park is surrounded on all sides by Maple Hill Cemetery.
Okay.
Like literally, it is just a circle of a park, and then the rest of it around it is the cemetery.
So it's basically just in the middle of a cemetery.
It's basically in the cemetery. Yeah. So that's already near some dead bodies. That's already some bad juju going on. Yeah. But this park was also known to be the hunting grounds for one of the local serial killers in the town.
No.
So we will get into all of that, but let's get into the history of the cemetery first. So Maple Hill Cemetery is the oldest and largest cemetery in Alabama. So not only
What?
is this park just like in the middle of a cemetery, it's in the oldest and the largest in Alabama.
Okay, so was the cemetery here first?
The cemetery was here first. Well,
Did they build
actually, no. We'll get into it later. It was something before cemetery.
Okay.
Well, I'll get into it. You'll see. So,
Okay.
the cemetery was first founded in 1822 by this guy named Leroy Pope. Okay, and when he first opened it, the cemetery was only 2 acres of land. So it's kind of at first just was like a little small family cemetery.
Right.
Okay, but today it spans over 100 acres, and is the gravesite to many, many people, and majority of them being Civil War soldiers. So, like, basically, it's kind of hard to explain, but it was added on, like, in sections. So, some parts of the cemetery are way older than others, which is, typically how it is in a cemetery anyway. So, basically, yes, it was a cemetery to begin with. Let's see here. Oh, and what's also interesting is that there are both Confederate and Union soldiers buried here. So
Okay.
that's, ghosts could be contesting with those things as well. So
Yeah, like what if they're just like
They're still
having
fighting the war.
There's reenactments going on in the middle of the
Literally.
night.
Literally. Like they're like, we're still fighting. So
Mm-hmm.
who knows? So in the early 1900s, Huntsville, Alabama was hit hard with the Spanish flu pandemic. So thousands of people died, and everybody that died from that were also buried in the cemetery, which is why they had to, like, you know, enlarge it even more. So there's just a lot of death going on here currently at the moment. So as I said, you know, it was a small cemetery at first. All right, let's just remember that. But at this point, it's not like the 100 acres. I would say probably in the year of 1945, where I'm about to get to right now, it's probably about like 30 acres. So still pretty small, relatively. So the rest of the land, which will eventually become the rest of the cemetery, but was not the cemetery during this time, between the years of 1945 and 1955, it was home to a limestone quarry. So there's nothing in this story about aliens, but I do just want to mention that, like, most of the time when we're talking about limestone, it's about aliens. So that's a little bit weird too. But no alien things in this story.
Dang it.
I know.
Maybe there are, and it's just like,
Right.
it's on the down low.
Right. Like, honestly, maybe that could be an explanation for what's to come. So.
Ooh, okay. I'll keep it in mind.
Yep. So this quarry, you know, they're just like finding a bunch of limestone in this area, so they're like removing it and, you know, selling it or whatever. But it actually left these like humongous pits in the earth, like making good little cavities for like secret places to hide in this land. So basically, beside the cemetery, there's just these kind of holes and hills where people would go to, like, you know, throw parties or do drugs or, you know, do, you know, anything they wanted to do in secret.
Okay.
So local legend has it that during the 1960s, right after like the like limestone quarry shut down, a string of child abductions terrorized the city of Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, that's not good.
No, so many children went missing, like upwards of like 20.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, and there were no ransom requests like ever made. So police had to assume that the kidnapper was like not only taking these kids, but he was also killing them.
Yeah.
Because like, why else would they not like demand money or something, you know? So at first, this was actually kind of just like local lore and like conspiracies. Like the town were like, we know something's going on, and everybody was like, no, you crazy conspiracy theorist. But tragically, all these little conspiracies became true when the skull of a child was found in the quarries.
No.
Yeah, so once they found the skull, obviously the police went out there, like, did way more investigation, and they found multiple skeletal remains, and they were all of the recently missing children.
Oh my gosh. Wait, how did they decompose that fast? Did they like...
Well, just the conditions of that, they're small, you know, just a lot of conditions.
Huh. Yeah.
So, yeah. And some of them, not all of them were like skeletal remains. So, you know, just very not good. So after they found the bodies, obviously, like, the town is extremely shook up. Like, this was really like one of those towns where like nothing bad ever happens, you know, how they say that. But,
yeah, they probably left their doors unlocked.
yeah, like literally they did. And they were like, this is insane that this like happened. So obviously, like, autopsies were done on the bodies, and it revealed all of them. In all of the bodies, it revealed signs of severe malnourishment and abuse. So investigators assume that these children were like kept and tortured before eventually being killed, which is just absolutely so awful, like, for it to happen to anybody. But the fact that these are like really little kids is just
that's horrible.
So much worse. Yeah. So obviously, the townspeople and the families, they wanted justice, but police had literally no idea where to even begin. Like, it was an anonymous tip that called in, like, the very first skull. Like, you know, like, who knows what anybody and everybody were doing, like, dark, weird things down there, like, in those quarry holes. So, you know, The police had no idea where to even begin. But right as like these bodies were found, the abductions stopped, and the identity of the killer was never revealed, never confirmed. So this is still actually a mystery. To this
That's
day,
crazy.
nobody knows.
Listen, it seems like they could have done something about it while it was happening, but they just brushed it off.
Literally.
Right?
Literally. They're like these kids had to be runaways. Like nobody's hurting the kids in this town. Like everybody, we know everybody. That's the vibe it's giving.
Yeah.
Which is just
they
really
decided
awful.
to investigate it too late.
Right. I mean, like far too late.
Yeah.
Far
And then
too
it just
late.
stopped. Huh.
Yeah. And I mean, we do have to like consider like this was the 1960s, so like, technology is not at all what it was, back then today. So I don't know, but yeah, but like even worse part about that is like not only like did these families like not get closure, but like we have no idea who this killer was. Like, did he stop or did he just move to like another city? And like, were those his last victims? Like, I don't know. That's
Right.
giving very
Like,
evil.
yeah, honestly, could have moved to a different city.
Like, probably
mean,
did. Like, I doubt he stopped. If like he
Yeah.
was doing that, and I'm saying he could be a she. I don't know. They.
Yeah, but we all know it's probably a he,
we
right?
know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, moving along from that. By the year 1985, the land where the quarry once existed was finally donated to the city. And that is when the city was like, all right, we need to like get rid of these holes. Like, this needs to become something positive for the community. So that is when they decided to build Maple Hill Park, right in the middle of
Okay.
Maple Hill Cemetery.
That's just so why?
See, I don't know, because like I'm really not trying to be grim and I'm not trying to make a joke right now, but like literally kids today are playing where kids were murdered. Like it
See, but
feels like a
also-
little bit like I understand both sides. Like it feels kind of wrong, but also like it's kind of like cute.
Yeah, but also when you said like when you first said, "Oh, it's a playground in the middle of the cemetery," I got the notion that it was for ghost children to play
Well,
on.
it is kind of for both living
Yeah.
and ghost children.
Yeah. I mean, that makes me a little bit happy that these ghost children have a playground.
For sure. No, for sure.
You know?
No, definitely. So like, I don't know, but the families of the victims like wanted this park to happen. They wanted to like use this park to like commemorate the death of their loved ones, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's great. And so after that park was built, the townspeople then named it Dead Children's Playground. So
What a great name.
no, but why? I was gonna say, but why would they do that? Because that's like very disrespectful, honestly. Like just at first glance, hearing what I've already said. But the reason they call it that is because immediately, like the day that the park was built, locals began to hear sounds coming from the playground at night only.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. So like up until the point, like I mean, there were many years that passed in between like the killings and the park being built, but nothing ever happened. But when the park was built, immediately that's when stuff started happening.
Yeah, because what were they doing before then? They were just like walking
They were bored.
around.
Yeah, there was just
Yeah, bored.
cemetery. That's lame. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
the neighbors around in the community would hear the sounds of children sometimes talking, sometimes playing, and sometimes screaming. But when they went to check to see if anybody was out there, because technically the park is supposed to be closed, the park was always empty, always. So spooks magooks, if you ask me. So townspeople eventually, became very well acquainted with like the little ghostly visitors that they had, and found out after like studying and just like watching every night that the activity always happens between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. every night, like nonstop. So, that's cute. Like, they're like, this is our time. Like, during the day, that's when the living kids get their time. And then the nighttime's like our time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly
Cute.
what it seems like. They're basking in the moonlight,
Exactly.
you know,
Love that.
instead of in the sun.
I really do love that. So that's when people started calling it Dead Children's Playground, because and now it is their playground. But when people started calling it that, obviously, like, it's kind of like giving a negative light on the park. It's just kind of like a gloomy name for a place, and like the legends were just like kind of spreading throughout. So because of all of this, like, conundrums like going around this park and playground, in 2007 the city actually removed the park and planned on expanding the cemetery there.
Oh, what? They took it away?
Yeah, they did take it away. um
Hmm.
but the townspeople went absolutely bananas. They said, oh, absolutely not, you cannot take our dead children's playground, because where are they going to play?
Yeah,
So
see, that's good. Good.
yeah. So they like went and pled and pled and rioted and protested, and they were like, no, you're not taking the park. Give it back. So, like, literally a week later, the park was returned, and the city even like got new equipment and like toys for like kids to play on, which is,
Oh my gosh.
cute.
Oh.
Very cute. So pictures have also been taken by visitors and ghost hunters, and they show orbs and mist, little weird orbs and mist. But we don't really believe all that, you know. But pictures have also been taken of like the park, and in it there will be like a shape of like a child when literally nobody's there.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's creepy. And apparently, there's one photo of a child looking like they're going down the slide, but like also the child's like see through at the same time.
What?
But to be fair, I tried to find that picture and I could not find that picture
Oh,
at all. I could
okay.
only find like some stupid little orb pictures. So,
You could just,
like,
you just saw people describing it.
yeah, like a
And
lot
that's
of people
not,
describing
yeah.
it. I'm like, just can somebody give me the picture?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know where it is. Like, I don't believe you without the picture.
Right.
Um, let's see here. So, okay, other people have reported hearing the sounds of mothers calling out to their children and like staring, like, not staring, standing, like, not in the park, but like around the park, like maybe behind a tree. And I'm like, that is so scary. Like, please, like, I don't even care if it is just a ghost mom, like, looking for her ghost child. That's scary.
Yeah.
If you're
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of sweet.
if you're like if there's a ghost lady standing behind a tree.
Okay, well, maybe
Like, I mean,
not.
it's
don't
sweet
know.
overall, but like in the moment, I would be like pooping my pants, scared for real.
True. But think about, like, what if these children, their parents are probably still alive, and some of the people in the cemetery, maybe they died and had children, and then now they have their ghost children. They, like, adopted.
Oh, they adopted. Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Isn't
That's
that cute?
better. But what I'm about to tell you is not better.
Oh, no. Okay.
Um, some people have also reported seeing the ghostly figure of a very tall man, who some believe to be the ghost of the killer, watching over his victims.
No.
And this man is
What?
also seen standing behind trees, like surrounding the park.
Okay, I don't like that one.
No. So I'm like, how do you even really distinguish if it's like a mom behind a tree or the killer? Because, like, I can't
Yeah.
and won't be doing that.
Mm-mm.
Scary.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he stopped, too.
Yeah.
He died.
Like, what if he died? Yeah. Like, that's, like, because who knows? So creepy. And one other creepy thing that people say is that they see when they go to the parks at, like, night is that the swings will move, like a kid is swinging on it, but there's nobody on it, and there's like no wind, no other factors like going on that would make it move. So
Ooh.
hate
Yeah,
that.
that's like the classic
That's such the classic.
ghost at the playground,
Yes,
That they're on the
100%.
swing.
100%. So today the park is technically closed at night, but that does not stop people from going in to investigate themselves. Let's see here. So, okay. Also, I just really have to say, like, I feel like I understand it. I understand why, they did it. But also, I just kind of don't understand why they had to put the park, like, completely surrounded by cemetery. Like, there's already so much death that's happened there. Like, why do we have to put it there? Like, it could have been easily commemorated anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's
I
just,
don't know. I mean,
it's a little weird.
it could be good though, too, for if you're, if you do have family members buried there, you can go and visit, and then your young kids will still have like,
Okay.
they're playing at the park and they're like still with like, I don't know, if their dad passed away or something, they're like, oh, go to the park with dad,
No, that's
I don't
actually,
know. I'm just like
no,
thinking about
that's
all the
actually,
scenarios.
that's so true. That's so true. That's so true. But the only thing that bothers me is that people have actually wondered if there are bodies like actually buried under the park.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
some
don't know
people
about
think that there are, but there's just no records of it because obviously they don't want records of it. So that's a little conspiracy going on. But like, oh well, I guess the people want the park. Let them have the park.
Yeah.
So every year, Maple Hill Cemetery hosts annual ghost walks throughout the cemetery where they like retell this whole story and then like it ends at the park. So like hopefully you can maybe see something, go on at the park.
Ooh, spooky.
Which that's pretty cool, honestly. I would like to do that. Maybe. So
yeah, we should go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what do you think? Should we, if we ever end up in Alabama, should we go there in between the times of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m.?
We could. Yeah.
I'm down. I'm always down.
Well, I mean, besides the fact that it's probably closed and it's like not, you're probably not allowed to be there at that time. But
Taylor's not afraid to break a rule, let's so. Don't quote me on that. That's just a joke. Wink, wink.
Right.
But yeah, that's the legend of Dead Children's Playground.
I kind of like that one.
Me too. It's like a little, I mean, I was going to say cute. It's not really, it's harsh. It's very harsh.
It is horrible how these children disappeared.
Yeah.
That is horrible. But this playground does make me feel better about the situation.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. At least like they're happy, I guess. They can have something to look forward to in the ghost life.
Mm-hmm.
In the ghost life, but
yeah.
Yes, definitely go check out our Instagram because we will have pictures of the Dead Children's Playground and of the Reynolda House.
Mm-hmm.
I might try to see if I can find a picture of myself because I think I took a picture of myself with one of the dolls in the Reynolda House.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'll try to find it.
The dolls.
Can't promise that I will, but I'll try.
Yeah. Yeah, see, none of the things I was looking up about the Reynolda House really mentioned the dolls. I don't think just look creepy.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're haunted. I just think literally every single doll is scary. Like it doesn't even matter if it's a cute one; it's still scary.
I like dolls. I don't know.
Okay, creepy, psychopath behavior, but okay.
Okay.
But go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please.
Yes, and I do have something else to mention. So, as we said before, this is coming out the day before Thanksgiving, so some people might be driving to their Thanksgiving locations. So, if you don't have anything to listen to after this, I want to recommend that you listen to Louis Tomlinson's album,
Yes.
Faith in the Future.
It's so good, guys.
We are in our Louis era.
Like, listen, we were in our Harry era. We'll always love Harry. But you know what? Currently, at the moment, we've moved on to Louis.
Yes. If you know,
you know. If you want, like, a specific song, I'll just go ahead and say, like, Written All Over Your Face is my favorite song. So just go listen to that one.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good one. Yeah.
I love it. If you need somewhere to start, that's my favorite song.
Yeah.
So, we stand Louis, stand Harry. And we will forever be Larry's. And if you know what that means,
yes,
that's amazing. And if you don't, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that's why it's at the end, you see,
Yeah. If you stayed this long, you get to know.
You get to know the secrets of how big fangirls we are, truly. To One Direction for always. Always and forever.
Always. But anyways, go listen to that album. Let us know what you think.
Definitely. But other than that, I don't really have anything else. What about you, Savannah?
No, not today.
All right. Well, I guess we will see you guys next week.
All right. Cue the music.